the band is full of love, then the music will vibrate that frequency. As long as you lead with love, and that's always your guiding light, then yeah, it can't go wrong.
This is Talking Ears. I'm Frank Wardinger, music audiologist in Philadelphia. For this episode, Juan and I were lucky enough to speak with Grammy-nominated singer Cyrille Aimee. She's an artist currently based out of Costa Rica and New Orleans, and her credit list is impressive. It includes names like Stephen Sondheim, Bernadette Peters, David Sanborn, Wynton Marsalis, Emmett Cohen. She's won both the Montrose Jazz Festival and the Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition, but she's perhaps best known, to me at least, for being my friend. I've known her for about 20 years. We met back at Purchase College, Conservatory of Music, and it was lovely to catch up with an old friend. This highlights one thing that we talk about throughout the entire conversation, which is that there are various connections that lead us places, and these experiences can be surprising, and sometimes they lead us to where we're supposed to be and where we belong. For example, we're going to talk about the unique house that she designed and built in Costa Rica called La Tucanera, where she's hosting workshops and residencies for musicians from all over the world. Her most recent album, 424, was recorded live at Birdland, and we'll be listening to various songs from that album, as well as songs from her most recent studio album, La Fleur de Plus. But we're going to start with a different theme of this episode that we'll be talking about throughout, which is how nature can be in her own words, teacher, and it can guide our creativity. Let's step into our conversation with Cyrille Aimee, where we are currently being interrupted by some of that nature in the jungles of Costa Rica.
Improvising is one of the funnest things to do, live. And I just have so much fun connecting. Wow, sorry about all the birds.
That's fine. We're very sound positive here. I like birds in the background.
But these are kind of obnoxious. Let me close the door. This guy's every day here, every single day.
What kind of birds are we hearing?
I don't know what his name is. But he makes himself known every day.
Well, Cyrille, that's actually a good segue. I wanted to ask you about where you're living now and the sounds that you're surrounded by, because I know that you have a community of musicians, a community of artists down in Costa Rica where you're living. You welcome visiting artists and visiting musicians, but as we just heard in the background, there's some native artists as well who just live in the jungle in the form of birds and animals. Maybe this is a two-part question. I'm curious about the sound world, the soundscape around you that we're enjoying at the moment, but I'm also curious what drew you down to Costa Rica in the first place.
Well, the soundscape that you're hearing, the jungle is people are like, oh, you live in the middle of the jungle, aren't you bored? It's like, no, it's a very lively jungle. These are the birds, but there's also monkeys and all the bugs, and there's just like, it's very alive. It's very populated, and it's a symphony. What drew me to the jungle, actually, in Purchase College when we were there, I became friends with this girl, Maria, who was in the studio comp, and she is from Costa Rica, and after school she moved back here, and I came to visit her, and I fell in love with the country, and I started visiting her every year, and just every time I would stay longer, and at some point I was like, I need to buy my own land here because I want to invite my own friends, and I want to share this experience because I was just so inspired whenever I was in the jungle. I would write a lot of music and just brought out a lot of creativity out of me. And so a little before pandemic, I bought a piece of land, and then I started building a house.
Yeah, La Tucanera?
La Tucanera, that's a big house where I actually had a beautiful workshop in the winter called Jazz in the Jungle, and that's what this house is for now. And so I built a little house to receive my baby because the big house is way too big.
Lots of steps. Yep. It'll be an interesting...
Not baby-proof at all.
No, interesting to gate off all those balconies and steps. So I understand that you designed the house
Yeah.
and it's very open. The images of this house, it's beautiful. Every time that I look at pictures of it, which isn't infrequently, unfortunately, um, it instantly calms my nerves. It instantly makes me feel energetic and creative. It looks like it's built to draw art out of people or to
Yeah.
help people just describe their own art.
Well, because the jungle, the nature is what inspired me. I was like, I need to build a house where you're still in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm inviting the nature in the house, and it's very open. It's like a tree house.
Yeah, it looks like a tree house. You're up in the canopy
Yeah,
with all
yeah,
with all the birds and oh, that's
yeah.
beautiful.
It's very special. And so when there was all the people there for Jazz in the Jungle, I one of the assignments was to write a song, and everyone wrote beautiful songs inspired by the area. And also there's a beautiful river that runs through that land, which is kind of what had brought us all there.
Mm.
It's a very special place, and I'm very happy that I have that option.
Cyrille, Frank showed me some pictures and was telling me about this retreat. And I love how you put it and described it. There's this connection with nature and just sparking new creativity and artistic expression. Is there anything else unique and specific with the house that you have in Costa Rica versus maybe another kind of urban city?
Well, I mean, to me, what the nature does, as opposed to, like you say, an urban place, because I live in a really cool urban place when I'm not here. I live in New Orleans, which
Mm-hmm.
is another super inspiring place.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that you can get on overstimulated. It's like there's so much music, so much going on, and so you're absorbing it all, but you don't have time to process it.
Yeah.
When I'm in New Orleans, I absorb all this music. It's just incredible, super inspiring and motivating. But then when I go to the jungle, first of all, it takes like a few days for the noise to die down, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
in your brain. And then for the silence to settle in, and then to start hearing what's actually inside of you, what's brewing, what wants to come out. And you couple that with the nature, the sounds around you, and just the peace.
Mm.
It's like a cocktail that it really makes me write a lot more than when I'm surrounded by music. I need to take a step back from the music in order to create my music.
That makes so much sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you write a lot of A Fleur de Peau in Costa Rica?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
100%. Yeah.
I hear so much depth to your songwriting now. I think all the original songs that I've ever heard of yours have this weight and strength behind them. But to hear an entire album that is just, well, it's written in the title. I had to look up the translation of the title, and I'm pretty sure the literal translation into English is not accurate. Could you?
No, because it's an expression.
Yeah.
A fleur de peau, it literally translates to on the surface of the skin.
Okay.
But it's an expression when we say in France, I'm right now I'm in a state on the surface of my skin. It means that I'm very sensitive and everything touches me, and I see the beauty in every little thing, and everything moves me, and that's how I feel when I'm here. I'm very open to all the details. There's just so many details in nature, and when you're surrounded by it, there's nothing else to do than notice them.
Oh, wow. You see, that's so much more moving than than the translations that I found. One of them was like touching a nerve, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound positive at all. But this is more of a activated state, right? An openness. Yeah, and you hear that in the music. I mean, it's very vulnerable, as I've heard you describe it, to write about your own life, to write about your own experiences.
Yeah, it's very personal.
Yeah, it feels like, to me, a pretty rare thing to see somebody who, as a jazz singer, most jazz singers that I know of make a career singing standards.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a place to start.
Yeah.
But, you know, an artist doesn't stay in one place. And then after a while, the American songbook gets old. And that's why I went to Sondheim, for example, and just always reaching further and going where you haven't been. And I explored the American songbook far and wide. And I still love it, but, you know, it's like a push that you feel as an artist to keep exploring and to keep challenging yourself. So,
and to build a place to bring that out of others too, to let others feel that. You're spreading the gospel in a positive way. I like that.
Even in my dreams, I wake up from this haze, and I only need the air that I breathe. If I wonder why I look up, I find my way, 'cause there's nowhere else to be but just here. You were a ghost that blurred my vision, a false friend I kept in the palm of my hand. I fell in the web of my addiction. One look and you pulled me.
I wanted to ask about I could put it as like influences, but I think of it more like different flavors that are mixed in with your music. A lot of the time I hear literally French and Spanish, and then I hear a lot of New York jazz, if you will. And then I listen to a track named Here, which has this moment in the middle of it that just breaks into this New Orleans style, almost like a brass band moment.
If I wonder why I look up, I find my way, 'cause there's nowhere else to be but just here.
When you're playing with those different influences, how much are you just kind of channeling each moment, or is it really thinking, okay, in this moment I want to pull together something that sounds more like it's coming from this part of my background or this part of my experience?
No, I don't think like that. I didn't even realize until you said it that that part sounds New Orleans-y. Because I'm playing the kazoo in that part.
Yeah.
and the trumpet and the saxophone are playing along with me, and we're all together. And so, yeah, it does have a kind of New Orleans vibe. But for example, on the record in the studio, that doesn't happen. In the studio, what happens in that song is a children's choir. So it's really more like moment to moment, what would feel good at this moment. And it's not at all thought out, you know, where it fits in in a category or anything like that.
Well, part of why I ask is because I've known you a long time, and I've heard you sing original songs you've written in different languages, in Spanish and French, which I know you're fluent in. From a producer standpoint, I think of it like you have a lot of different elements in your background that you can choose from and pull from for your music. I'm curious how you choose to mix those together.
It's just all of it is a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
The New Orleans, the Latino, the French, the New York jazz. It's all a part of me, and it's kind of all mixed together in there. And it's a cocktail that just comes out when I'm performing and when I'm in the moment.
It feels very honest and spontaneous in a way that I think audiences relate to and can sense that genuineness behind it.
Yeah, and also just the fun, just
Mhm.
like not taking seriously so much, just really, it's a celebration.
Mm-hmm.
The celebratory aspect of it and getting lost in those moments. I'm curious, especially with being an international artist, have you noticed a difference in culture when it comes to the protection of a musician's hearing or with sound levels? Is that something that you even think about when you're performing before going into a gig? Or do you see differences from other artists in other parts of the world?
No, I don't think about volume really. I mean, the one person in the band that needs to watch out for their volume usually is the drummer.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to find a drummer that has energy and dynamics and that doesn't blow your ear off.
Mm.
And I got so lucky meeting Pedro Segundo. He's a master at the drums and percussions and everything. He travels with a suitcase full of toys. He's super dedicated, and he's just a painter. He's really in service to the music.
Mm-hmm. We just saw your concert, I think it was in February or March in Philadelphia, and I think we were sitting maybe 15 feet away from Pedro. It's no joke to say that in any one song, he might switch the type of shaker that he's using 3 or 4 times, depending on what's going on with the music. He looks like an octopus when he's playing. I didn't know people had that many arms. What a good way of putting it. He's very sensitive, and he knows when to get bombastic and explode with excitement and volume, but it's for brief moments. It's only when it serves the music.
Yeah, and it's still a controlled volume where it's not like, for example, there's drummers that play cymbals really loud, and that's just like, it's like it's a volume that just stays and lingers. And whereas him, when he goes loud, it's not in the cymbals, it's more in the kick and in the in things that give rhythm.
Absolutely. I think your career's gotten to this point now, and it has been for some time, where you can pick and choose who you're playing with. So many singers, so many performers, they're thrown in with a wide range, right? And you've played with a wide range of players who don't have that sensitivity, especially when you're in a small club. And you have to be thoughtful about that, because this is a lifelong career here, and you have to keep those floppy things on the side of your head safe. So I think in your position, I'm remembering that some decade or more ago, I made earplugs for you.
Yeah, for the whole band.
Yeah. Were you finding that was needed in certain rehearsal spaces or certain shows?
No, I remember I asked you that I wanted something so that when I'm in a bar and I don't have to scream and I can hear the conversation. There's nothing I hate more than being like, so, you come here often? I hate that.
Just shouting over the noise.
But no, on stage I have trouble wearing earplugs. It disconnects me too much from what's happening.
With your acoustic music, meaning like you're hearing everything on stage and you have to be able to move within it, it is such a big change to have your ears blocked off. So it's really wonderful that you have your world set up so that isn't as necessary.
Hmm.
That's ideal.
You know where it is that I do need earplugs,
Mhm.
which is a big part of touring, is in the plane.
I was just going to say 90% of touring is not performing. It's
Yeah,
traveling.
it's traveling,
Yeah.
and in the plane, earplugs are really clutch. And also, when you're in the van traveling with the guys and they're playing music and you don't want to hear it at this moment,
Mm.
you just want to take a nap in the back.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because we spend a lot of time as audiologists talking to folks about keeping their ears healthy. And usually it's trying to convince drummers not to hit so hard or guitarists that they do have a volume control. But the ideal would be what you're doing, setting up a world where the band on stage isn't hurting themselves every night.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the drummer is playing so loud that I can't hear myself, I'm like, you can't hear me then.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. You're playing along to me, but you can't hear me. It's really, that's about, musicianship, and
Mm.
it's a whole skill.
The first skill is to listen, right?
Yep.
And if you can't listen over your cymbals, yeah.
Hmm.
Got a beautiful way of getting me to stay. Every moment spent with you feels like forever. You got a beautiful way of getting me to stay. Seems like only yesterday I thought I'd never find you.
Cyrille, I have to say, so I told my daughters this morning that I was going to get to interview you. And of course, they remember you from meeting you and hearing your music and hearing your concerts. And I said, is there anything that you would like me to ask Cyrille? And my oldest daughter, just without skipping a beat, she said, please ask her, is it fun to sing in front of a lot of people?
Yes, definitely. Very fun. I think that's what made me sing in the first place. Was I was hanging out with the gypsies when I was little, the gypsies that were living in my hometown. I was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed with their music, listening to them playing guitar and everything. And I was trying to learn guitar, but it was so hard. And then one day, one of the big brothers asked me to learn a song because it was in English. And I sang it in front of the whole family.
Mm.
I remember we were in a bus and it was raining because we couldn't fit in the caravan. So we went in this old abandoned bus and it was raining on top of the bus and the whole family was there. And I sang. And when I saw just the smiles that it created and the vibes, just how happy it made people,
Yeah.
that was like, okay, that's what I want to do. And I guess my tool is my voice. It could have been anything else. With the guitar, I couldn't because I had to look at my fingers and I couldn't connect. And so when I realized that singing was such a much more direct connection, I was like, this is what I want to do. It was not because, oh, I love the way singing feels or I love the sound of it, or no, it was just I want to connect with people and make people happy and and see these smiles. And I guess when I sing, this happens, so I guess I'll keep singing.
They're writing songs of love, but not for me. The lucky stars above, but not for me. With love to lead the way, I found more clouds of gray than any Russian play could guarantee. I was a fool to fall and get that way. I ho, alas, and oh, whatever that means. Oh, like a day. Although I can't dismiss the memory of his kiss, I guess he's not for me.
Now, if you keep painting such beautiful pictures of your childhood, they will make a biopic about you before too long. I just need you to be careful. Because I'm imagining this whole scene in my head.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thought, too, of, it's not so much the instrument or the sound, it's more the way it's connecting you with people. And I think that every artist I think, tends to lean towards that. It's how they, quote unquote, use their voice or whatever outlet it might be. The idea is to have people connected to it, which I think is really,
Exactly.
really beautiful, and kind of tying into how you're living now, surrounded with nature, and you're kind of grounding yourself and kind of maintaining that connection with nature. I think that's just a beautiful picture.
Yeah, the voice is just a tool. For example, when COVID hit and I couldn't perform,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of friends of mine who were musicians who were identified with being a musician,
Hmm.
they had a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I can't, this is no longer a creative outlet that's possible for me right now. And so I focused all my creativity on designing this house, and it was as fun as being on stage, honestly, drawing these lines, and it was just another way to express creativity
Hmm. Hmm.
and just like envisioning people coming into the house and feeling the inspiration, and just a way to get people to come down here, creating this house for them. It was just really fun.
That's really interesting. Using architecture and design kind of creativity there to do exactly what you're doing with your music, of connecting to people and
Hmm.
making memories happen, right?
Hmm.
I think about that when you perform. We were sitting in a room with 300-400 people over at the Longwood Garden, beautiful venue, surrounded by flowers and an ancient organ behind you.
Hmm.
You made every one of their evenings more special through your performance. I know that my kids left literally skipping. They had so much energy at the end of that. And you're doing the same thing with your house too, because you're creating this space that makes people have memories and energy and experience.
Hmm.
That's a really beautiful sentiment.
Hmm. Yeah, it was really special. It was an experiment, this Jazz in the Jungle. In November I put out the flyer, and
Mm-hmm.
2 days later it was full, and then in January we did the thing.
Absolutely. And you can hear why. This is you posting on social media the announcement about the workshop.
Hello, everybody. Hola, todo el mundo. I'm very excited to launch my very first music retreat and workshop in the jungle of Costa Rica, in the house that I designed and built for that purpose, La Tucanera. Whatever instrument you play, whatever level you're at, come and play with us, with the nature. We're going to talk about improvisation, we're going to scat, we're going to loop, we're going to play as a band, we're going to listen to nature and discover how we can hear the songs that it gifts us and be inspired by this incredible nature in a paradise place with a beautiful river. I invite you to my home. Hi. This January.
I love hearing the nature in the background and you being literally interrupted by the bird that you're currently being interrupted by. So for those of us who weren't lucky enough to go, can you give us a little bit of an idea behind the structure of the workshop?
5 days in the jungle, 15 students, 7 teachers, classes from 9 a.m. to basically 9 p.m., with like fire circles and things like that, and jam sessions and master classes, and we're still all connected. The 15 of us started out as 15 strangers, and we just ended as a unit.
Mm.
And we have a WhatsApp chat where everyone is always sending each other news of their music, and I get messages saying how it was a therapy. It was really, really powerful and healing. And they thought they were coming to a jazz camp, but they realized it was life camp. The mixing the music with the nature is really a whole nother level. surprised myself as well. It was an experiment. We didn't know what was going to happen, and it just was. The flow was impeccable.
What's the next step for that? Are there going to be more workshops?
Well, yeah, yeah. I want to do one in January again.
Wow.
Yep, it's gonna be quite different. I feel like it's important to reconnect people to nature. That was one of the first things when we were all introducing ourselves and introducing the teachers. And I told them, the reason you've come all this way to do this camp is because our main teacher here is nature. She's going to teach us everything that we can't teach you. And we all have to be listening always and learning from her. I guess when I had the idea of doing jazz in the jungle is when I did a permaculture course. My neighbor is a permaculture teacher.
Mm.
And permaculture is basically studying the intelligence of nature and adapting it to our life, not just to our gardens, but to our life, to our businesses, to our families, to our communities, using the intelligence of nature, how nature relates to each other, how all the there's just such a network of conversation between every plant, every tree, every animal. And so it's studying that, whether it's your garden or your business or your community, to design it so that once the design is done, then everything just flows right into place. You don't have to do anything. You're basically routing the water so that it goes to the right places. You're putting the cacao tree next to banana tree because the banana shades the cacao and the cacao feeds the banana. When I was studying permaculture, I realized there was so many parallels between permaculture and music and art. And I thought, and while I was in this permaculture course, I was the only musician. It was all a bunch of people coming from all over the world who were farmers, who were beginners looking to know more about nature. And after the class at 6 p.m., I would take them all to my house and I would make them sing and just play music games with them. And they were discovering their voice. And I thought, wow, how cool would it be to connect nature to music, and to teach musicians to listen to nature, to hear the songs that are out there and just catch them. You don't have to write any songs. The songs are all written. You just have to catch them.
Yeah.
We are disconnected to nature in today's world, and I think it's important to bring that awareness back.
Drifting on a memory, ain't no place I'd rather be than with you, loving you. Day will make a way for night. All we'll need is candlelight and a song, soft and long.
That's excellent. I mean, I'm taking this call right now from my basement where I've been inside all day because it's raining and my neighbors still think they could use leaf blowers all day. So it's loud and horrible outside. So I feel very disconnected to nature too, and wishing that I was laying in a hammock, listening to the rain instead of overzealous single stroke motors. No, but I was thinking about your house there and how that relates to connecting to nature. You built it tall, you built it high so that there's a breeze. I understand that Costa Rica is warm. And then I was thinking about how you have your workshops in January, arguably the winter, because that's probably the most comfortable time out there. Is that a safe way of putting it?
Yeah, over there it's actually summer. Over here it's dry season. So it's just sunny all day. Yeah, right now we're in rainy season. So it's sunny in the morning and then afternoon is time to curl up in a hammock with a book and watch the rain fall. which is really cool because you use the morning to plant your garden, and then the afternoon everything gets watered.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also understood, as you put it in an interview, that life in the jungle is not 100% easy, that there are times nature decides to play a game with you and send a billion bugs into your house.
Yep.
Or
even if you don't want to play.
Is that nature's way of saying, how dare you put a house here? Or do you think that's just tricks?
I think it's just nature's way of saying, your house is very nice, but don't think that it's your house.
We're sharing.
We're sharing. We live here together. I mean, one time I left for a week to go do the jazz cruise gig, and I came back and there was a bee nest in my closet, like with honey in it, like in 1 week.
Wow.
They notoriously are hard workers.
Yep.
Them bees. Buzz, 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 they say all morning long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, it just doesn't make sense to, if you want to live in the jungle but you don't want any bugs and nothing, it's like, then don't live in the jungle. I live in the jungle and I don't want walls because I want to feel like I'm outside all the time. And you get used to the bugs, honestly. You get used to them, not even just get used to them, but you start to befriend them and you start to get to know them and to be interested in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kids start off being interested in bugs until us anxiety-ridden modern adults tell them that they need to spray DEET all over their skin. Kids get it.
Yeah.
Kids get it. They just want to be outside. They just want to be in nature. And I think that adults do too. Many of us think that we have to live in these noisy places and cities.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of get it wrong. We think we have to live in the city and go to nature for holiday and vacation. I think it's the opposite. I think go visit a city for holiday and vacation. That's fun, you know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, go to the city and see a show. Go eat some food that you've never had before.
Yeah.
Let's change the ways of society together. I think we can do that, right? We have that power.
We can do it.
Cyrille, I'm wondering if you would, on the show, want to share the story behind Inside and Out.
It's a long story.
I can't believe I overlooked the signs. Was easier for me to close my eyes. There is something growing in me, taking up a space inside me.
It moved me literally to tears, and I don't remember, and I'm not exaggerating, I don't remember the last time when that's happened to me personally.
Yeah, it is a beautiful story.
I know this sounds crazy.
When this song came to me 7 years ago, I had no clue I was gonna build a house.
Even when the sun shines on me,
And that's what the song says. It was like a prophecy.
I just need a little time. I will build a house so steady for you to come back to. Yeah, this body's yours and mine, inside and out.
I will build a house so steady for you to come back to. And I wrote this song after I had an abortion, which was a very difficult decision to take. And it's kind of, you know, then 7 years went by and the song was dormant. Life happened and COVID happened and I built a house. And now I'm pregnant, waiting for this baby to come back. And that's, you know, the really short version, but it's just how, to me, it taught me that when you're creating, when you're downloading, you know, inspiration, you can't judge it. You can't, you have to be curious because it has hidden messages in it. To judge it, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It both comes from you and it's guiding you.
Exactly.
Towards the next step.
Yeah. But I think it has also to do with I mean, it's a long story because the story is still going on, you know? I think it also has to do with what I was saying about how the songs are all in the cosmos and we just pluck them. We just have to be open and receive them and be the messenger of the song.
I think it's such an incredible message when I think about raising my own kids, the journey of what's serendipity and what is things that we are effortlessly putting out there, and those things that we have control over, making them as positive as we can make them.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about building a house, or the thing about raising a child, or inviting people into your concert or into your workshop, is that you're putting out so much positive into the world.
Mm.
And that can never go wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was saying about the love that there is on stage, and if the band is full of love, then the music will, vibrate that frequency. And I think it's the same with what you're saying. I think is as long as you lead with love, and that's always your guiding light, then yeah, it can't go wrong.
Yeah, speaking about the love, let's talk about your most recent album, 424, recorded live at Birdland. You can hear the love coming off of that stage. What are we hearing with this album?
It was our second year in a row that we played at Birdland with that band. And when you play every night, 2 shows a night for 5 nights, you start to get really, really tight. And it would have been such a waste not to record the last night. And so that's what you hear is the last night at a week residency at Birdland.
Open up your heart to the pain. Oh, will you take me far from the blame? No me niegues lo que te pedí, el regalo de tenerte junto a mí.
It's a Saturday night and the audience is on fire, and which, makes the band sound even better.
You got a beautiful way of getting me to stay. Every moment spent with you feels like forever. You got a beautiful way.
It was just so electrifying that night. We had so much fun during the week, and it was the last show, and it was sad that it was the last show, and we just really gave it all we had.
Moments spent with you feels like forever. You got a beautiful way of getting me to stay. Seems like only yesterday I thought I'd never find you.
It's such an incredible core band that you've assembled. And I was thinking about this when I was listening to your record, the live record, is that your ability to assemble a group who are just in their own way, each a leader, like a band leader, literally they have their own solo careers, but also they have moments where they can shine throughout your show. That's a skill in itself. It's like a producer skill that you have to always find the best people and bring them towards you.
I mean, of course, consciously, I want to play with the best people, but it always ends up being about love. And I always surround myself with people that are so full of love. And then that love gets multiplied when you put them all together. And yeah, there's just so much love for the music, love for each other, it's not just about music. It's also the personalities these are all great people, great friends, and they all give 100%. They all want to make the music sound good. They're not just doing a gig,
Absolutely.
That's what makes the music special, is the love.
Yeah. And the few individuals that I know personally, like Wayne Tucker, I just know him to be one of the greatest humans, just a really good hang and a really wonderful person. There was a clip that I wanted to play from Casita where Wayne is playing a solo, and not only is he blowing the roof off the place, you can hear you, Cyrille, on microphone just saying like, oh, wow.
That love is just heard. We can just hear this energy on stage. That's great.
Yeah, it's really great because we're all creating this together, you know. And there's moments where I'm not like you just said, I'm not singing. I'm just on the stage listening to them, and I'm just as much as part of the music as they are because I'm so involved. And same with them. They're not there to like play a solo. They're
Yeah.
there to just be in the energy and yeah, everyone's energy brings this magic to the music.
It's very generous playing too. There's a lot of sitting back. I hear a lot of virtuosos who don't know when to calm down and let somebody else stand in the front. But it's incredible the scope of that. And I was just thinking also about another element of your music, and I've known you now for almost 20 years, not to date both of us, but we met in college, and since then I've always found this about your voice, but also just your performance character, that you're able to weave together what I can only think of the word as charm. You're able to weave together this smile and this charm on stage with your, if you'll allow me to say, virtuosity with your voice. In fact, there's a clip here that I wanted to play a beautiful way from the live recording where you are doing some acrobatic vocal work and at the same time almost cracking yourself up. It's so fun to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's really play, you know?
Yeah.
It's just play, and that's what my goal is every time, is to have fun, to always remember why I'm there. And yeah, it's not trying to sound good, it's just trying to explore and connect.
Birdland is proud to present Cyrille Aimee.
No hace falta que me mire para que puedan los versos inspirar de más nuestra canción. Ya lo siento, puedo recibir tu voz, y aunque sueñe lo imposible, tengo las manos del tiempo en intercambio de sensibilidad, y no a mí como una flor que va a brotar. Y el picaflor va dejando su sabor pa' ti, pa' mí, que tú le hiciste. Y hoy quiero un poco de los dos pa' ti, pa' mí, que tú le hiciste. Acariciarnos hasta que ya no podamos ver. Mi piel, tu piel también ya se evapora, y aterrizando en tu cama de hojas verdes que hay en tu piel que me enamora. No hace falta que me mire.
Cyrille, we usually end these conversations with folks by asking them a question that we have asked pretty much every guest now. We've skipped a couple because of absent-mindedness. But the question, I'm curious to hear two different answers from yours, actually, because of the specific world that we're in right now. I mean, where you are in Costa Rica, in the jungle, we're being lovingly interrupted by playful birds. And the question is, what's your favorite sound?
My favorite sound, I think the rain.
What kind of rain? Like those heavy, heavy storms, or
Yeah.
light patter?
A heavy storm with the thunder, and yeah, I like that a lot. I like to lay in the hammock and listen to it.
kind of peaceful, mindful, and just soaking it in, so to speak. Just
It's like a sound that forces you to just be still. Because, you can't go outside, you can't do much, and so it's like forcing you to just be.
Which is something we forget to do all the time.
Yep.
When we were in New Orleans, we got into a discussion on when music is best. And he argues that it's best when it accompanies something. And I think about with your answer and you experiencing one of your favorite sounds, it's just forcing you to be whatever kind of state that you're in, wherever you're at, whatever space, whatever time you're in. That's just that moment. And I think that accompanies the sound. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, makes sense.
We asked this question to a lot of people, and for a lot of people, it gives them pause because we think about like our favorite colors and our favorite foods a lot. We don't often stop and think about what we just like to hear in the world, especially rain, especially a heavy storm. It's actually I don't want to say it's a common answer and make you feel like you made a bad choice because you made a great choice. It's a common answer in that I think there's this deeper thing that happens when we hear the rain and we hear a storm. It reminds us how fortunate we are if we have a roof above our head.
That's true.
It makes us feel secure,
Safe. Yeah.
because we're reminded that there's danger or there's hardship out there, and reminded of that safety that we have. And I think with your music, you're doing that. It's hard to listen to your albums. It's hard to listen to your concert. It's hard to listen to you putting your heart and the love on stage out there without feeling that I'm just grateful to be fortunate to be here, to be safe in this moment. So thank you for giving us all that.
Thank you, guys.
Cyrille, we're going to let you go.
Thank you.
But if you need anything ever, I'm a phone call away.
Thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cyrille.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Talking Ears is a production of Earmark Hearing Conservation and Philadelphia Music Audiology. It's produced by Juan Vasquez and Mary Kim. The theme music is by Scott Hallam. Mary was just included in a wonderful episode of The Pulse on WHYY in Philadelphia, so you can hear her voice there. If you've listened this far into the credits, then I assume that you enjoy this show, or you just like Cyrille and her music. If you do enjoy the show and you want to support us, the biggest step you can take is leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your shows. You can hit subscribe on your podcast player, on YouTube, follow us on all of the different social medias, and please share the show with your friends, your coworkers, other parents in car line, other humans. You can send us questions, suggestions for other topics and guests. If you're so inclined, you can send us some coffee money. It'll keep us awake and keep us making the show. You are the reason why we make the podcast, and we love hearing from you. So as always, thanks for listening.